everybody. Welcome to Wingman's Hangar, episode 11. Yeah, we are now well into double digits. Amazing, isn't it? Listen, I wanted to announce we're doing a little bit different this week. We're going to a pre-recorded show, but we're going to leave everything in there. We're recording it live. We're going to leave it as is, but the reason we're going to pre-recorded is because it allows us to make sure that we hit our timeline on Friday. We've had several instances where we weren't able to get it up. You guys were waiting for it. It's not right to you. It's not right to us. And also it allows us to do things like go on site to South by Southwest or Game Developers Conference and do some bits there and still get them up for the show that week. So even though we're pre-recording it, it's still the same stinking show. So let's get right to it, all right? Coming up this week, we've got the week in review. We've got forum feedback. We've got wide world news and an interview with VP of Marketing, Sandi Gardiner. So why don't we talk a little about the week in review? We thought this week we'd do a little bit differently. We'll show you a little bit of the whiteboard, what we did this week at Cloud Imperium. So here we go. Follow me. I'm going to actually bring the mic with me. So you can kind of look a little bit at the whiteboard over here. Some of the stuff that we did this week, some of the stuff we had them leave up on the show, on the board for the show. A little bit of this is kind of Hangar talk here. We've got talk here on the avatar system, what kind of things you're going to be able to get and play there. We've got a little bit about the space, how it's going to be structured here. We've got a little more about the Hangar application here, and a little bit about the different modules that we've got coming up. So you can see we left a lot of this stuff up there. Normally we'd erase it after each meeting, but we left it up because we kind of wanted to show what some of our Scrum type meetings are about. So that's kind of what's going on this week, or kind of what went on. We're still looking for some programmers. We've hired a new designer, Nathaniel. I think we talked about that last week. And we've got a couple other people coming on board. So it's kind of been a very, very busy week. Not to mention, we've got a few people here that you might recognize that are in for the week for the show, or for the work. So let's get right to it. And this is from Peterson. Okay, this looks it says handle with care. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God. It really is an apple pie. You want to use Jason, you want to use this? We got apple pie. We got, I am a pie thief now, baby. Blueberry pie. Well, there's like a picture on it. Dude, that's awesome. What? It's a Star Citizen pie. That is fantastic.
There's a Star Citizen logo on a pie.
Look at that.
Dead serious.
It says, thanks for everything you guys do for the community and for the game. John Tennyson.
All right, everybody say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Pie.
Thanks for the pie. The plaque.
It's just unbelievable. You guys are by far the best fans in the world. I mean, every week there's some surprise for us. We can't thank you enough. You've given us our jobs. You've given us everything we've got. It's just simply amazing. So let's get right to forum feedback. We've got a really rich show and stuff to talk about this week. So this is from a guy who wanted to remain anonymous. So we'll call him Secretes.
All right, Wingman, my question for you, real quick, I'm a little busy at work, as you can tell here, but will the Idris, however you say it, Corvette, will it have an internal hangar? And will this hangar be able to accomplish, say, 4 or 5 fighters? Will you be able to use it as a mobile docking bay? How big is the Corvette going to be? That's my question. Thanks. I got to go.
Wow. Now the videos get better and better each week. By the way, he sent in some shirts and hats, so he's actually a police officer with the San Diego Police Force. So I'm wearing the shirt. I'm rocking the shirt today. It's fantastic. And so we'll get right to answering these questions.
Have you, what's happened to my USB adapter?
Well, I don't know. We're right in the middle of shooting forum feedback.
You're doing forum feedback.
I am.
Okay.
I am. Why?
Should I just join?
Why don't you join? Yeah. Well, let's get the forum feedback from you.
Hey, everybody.
Well, you should recognize the man himself. So the question was about the Idris Corvette and the internal hangar, and how many fighters will it have, or will it have fighters, things like that.
Okay, so yes, the Idris Corvette has fighters. It's going to have between 2 and 3. We haven't 100% determined yet, but the difference between this and the Constellation is it will be able to have the single-seater fighters that you can pledge for. So you'll be able to have 2 Hornets in it, or 2 300Is, or an M50. It won't be able to have any of the bigger ones that multi-person, but you'll be able to have jump-capable fighters in it, which is different than the Constellation, which has a very short-range fighter. So that will give it a pretty big advantage. Plus, it has a fair amount of offensive and defensive weaponry that we will be sharing with you in the not too distant future. But yeah, it's going to be very cool shit.
Cool. Well, all right. So from Manic, he says, how will multiple characters in the same account work? Will we even be able to have multiple characters? Will there be any sharing of assets, or will I need to buy a separate ship for each account? My piratey alter ego awaits news of his cutlass and his existence. Arr.
Multiple character questions. So actually, this is the one thing that we haven't fully decided or fleshed out yet on how we're going to set this up. We kind of acknowledge that even if you said you can't have multiple characters, everyone's going to have multiple accounts anyway. So I'm a big fan of making it as easy and frictionless for people, because why put artificial barriers up that people are going to try and circumvent? The one question I can't answer is really just how things get handled properly on the sort of big server back-end side, because that's sort of those are the sort of details that we're working through. When we were doing the year of prototyping, we're working through a lot of sort of the more kind of how does a space combat work and how will that work on the back-end server stuff, but not necessarily all the, I don't want to really call it boring parts, but accounts and all that kind of stuff for me making a game. That's less fun than having laser bolts and explosions. So but we're now, those are all things we're working at right now, so that's actually kind of high up on the list of Jason, who's had a lot of experience in building big sort of more multiplayer MMO type games, and so we're working that out. So we don't 100% have an answer for that yet, but I think we'll probably try and make it as easy as possible for people to have fun. I don't know whether you can actually share assets between your characters, but certainly we're not going to sort of put these artificial roadblocks in the way.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be something like that we might, something as large as that, which kind of answers a lot of questions, might be something we'd write up and put on the, like you did Death of a Spaceman, which was really well received, right? So something big like that, we might, once we flesh it all out, be able to...
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that's part of the process. I mean, one of the things that's nice about expanding the team here is that it just actually takes a lot of time to communicate everything and put it, besides doing the actual work and the design, just the organizing and communicating it. But because we have more people, it's going to be easier to do that. So and I'm big on making the process really open for everyone in the community, because I think it's going to end up making a better game, because not that we necessarily will listen to everything, but we definitely we do listen to everything. It's not so that's the wrong. We listen to everything. We're just not going to action on everything, because you have to stay consistent to one kind of vision. But there's a lot of times where people bring up really good points that we may not have thought of, and so it's actually making our job a little easier, because I think we're going down less dead ends than we would have done in the traditional way. Thank you all guys for that. That's great.
Cool. From Heartsblade, he said,
"Hello, Wingman. Heartsblade here. I have a question about the Krithak and the Krell. There's been some discussion concerning the species mentioned in News Update the Krithak and the Krell mentioned during the Kickstarter Krell System Unlock announcement. Are they one and the same, or two totally separate alien races?"
Wow. Excellent.
Yeah.
I think people just got confused, because essentially the Krell system's where the Katath come from. So that's why people got confused between the Krell and the Katath, but whatever. And maybe you would call them the Krell because they came from the Krell system, but their proper name is the Krithak.
Yeah. So that's probably one of the easier ones we've had to answer. In all of these.
It is, yes.
So from Zorf Morph, he says, how extensive and detailed is a damage system for ships going to be? I know that it is possible to damage individual thrusters and modules, but how about the hull itself? Will a damaged ship experience hull breaches? Will there be things like fire in the ship itself, broken panels, open cables, stuff like that?
So yes, even back in 1990 with Wing Commander 1, if your ship was getting shut up, you would be in your cockpit and you would have broken panels and sparks and wires exposed. So we're definitely doing that. I mean, essentially, what I'm pretty keen on is having a sense of fidelity in the level of destruction, so the different parts can get damaged, they can get destroyed, broken off, and I also want a sense of wear and tear on the ship. So we're still going to work all that through, but I mean, I kind of want to see a ship that's, it's been out there, it's been flying for a year, and you can sort of see it's more worn than someone that just bought a new ship off the assembly line. So even if they keep it in good shape, maybe it gets a little more chipped or rusted, and you can take it in to get a new paint job or something. But basically try and do a lot of things that you see in real life where, you can see if something's battle hardened and been around. The same thing that I talked about in the characters is having that sense of, history, and you can see someone's been through many battles and stuff like that. So there's going to be a huge amount. Hull breaches is definitely something that's on our list. We really want to make that work and have decompression and everything. I talked about this before. Can't 100% promise it's going to be in the initial when we go live. It's on my list. I want to get it in. So we're going to try. But if not, it certainly would be one of the features that would be coming online pretty shortly after we go live. Because I just think it's cool. I mean, you see it in every sci-fi movie, and we need to get it in Star Citizen, so that's kind of on our list of things to do. It's actually fairly easy inside CryEngine, other than the effects of like the atmosphere and the stuff getting sucked out, but the gravity and physics side of it's already kind of supported. So that's definitely on one of our that's on our priority list.
Okay, and Hassenpfeffer asks,
Dear Wingman, one thing that would liven up the game would be the ability to open up a communication channel with other ships, even enemy ships, just like you can in Wing Commander. This would be used by pirates to negotiate terms with passing vessels, nearby players to form temporary alliances, or simply issue a warning to a passerby. Will it be possible to send a request to hail other ships in Star Citizen via voice over IP communication?
Well, okay, so we had a bit of a laugh there. Now, the truth is, Hassenpfeffer and Hassenpfeffet actually wanted us to do that. So thank you, big ups to you for getting the joke we had last week. Much appreciated that they jumped in right in. So, but the question still deserves to be answered. VoIP, can you hail a ship?
Well, no, I think you'll definitely be able to, and we're definitely going to have a communication system that's in sort of short range and in space, similar to Wing Commander was and Privateer, where you can talk to people, taunt to people. So we would like to get it working via IP, so we'll see. There are some moderation issues in that in a multiplayer environment, but sometimes you can get around it by just saying, as long as I use this and I acknowledge that. Cloud Imperium has no control over the language that people use, and you can turn people off. So we'd definitely like to get that working, because we recognize that people would do it outside the system anyway when they're doing it. Right. So it would really just be a matter of time and whether that would sort of
how soon it comes in play.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely in our game, no matter what. At some point, is it day one? I don't know. Certainly, you'll be able to sort of send messages and chat and do everything else. And we're and I would like to have it in there. And we're looking at sort of some open source or some middleware solutions, so it's pretty easy for us to integrate. So that's definitely on our list, and it will be there day one. Can't 100% promise, but we'll see. I think it's kind of important. I think it adds to the immersion. It's kind of cool.
Cool.
There we go.
From Shaolin 67160. How is ship sharing between friends going to work? If a friend wants to borrow a ship, does he have to send a request to the owner every time? Or can we configure our friend via friend list to let the game know? Apologize for the coughing. I've got a little cold here. Sorry.
People got to make the game. We don't need...
I know I'm going to get everybody sick, right? I'm going to wander around.
Okay.
All right.
The ship sharing on Friends right now, I mean, beyond the fact that we're going to let you essentially loan out your ship to a friend, we haven't fully gone through the system. So I don't know whether it's going to be a matter of... Yeah, no, why don't you spit a little bit? That would be very nice. I didn't cough a loogie.
I know. Yeah, you're right.
No, but basically, I think you should be able to share, so you'll be able to sort of essentially gift your ship to a friend. And I don't know whether you can have it gift it with like a time limit, or when they finish playing with it, it automatically goes back to you. So some of those details sort of have to get worked out. I mean, we don't really want to, program like the most intricate system for that, because obviously there's other things that we've got to be doing as well.
Right.
So we're probably going to try and just have something simple. So I don't know whether it's you give it out for a fixed period of time, or you just give it out till they sort of dock again and then it can come back to you, or they have to return the ship to where you lent it to them from.
It's a lot to be figured out.
But we're still figuring that out.
Yeah. From Profit Driven, he says, Why did CIG feel the need to create the Robert Space Industries subsidiary division to brand Star Citizen? Why not just market Star Citizen under CIG directly?
Well, so basically, RSI was originally conceived to be this fictional future manufacturer of spaceships. Right. And the whole idea was sort of to take you into the world of Star Citizen, 800, 900 years in the future, and you're visiting the site of, a future Boeing or whatever. And so we set it up, and actually what happened was one of the web guys put Robert Space Industries up there as a default because we hadn't come up with a name, and then like all these things that all sort of, well, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense.
It made sense after a while.
I've made space games before, so I guess that sort of kind of ties in the brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really the company in the game in the future, but obviously it's been front-facing for the game, us raising the money. So at some point we decided, well, we better incorporate it and make it kind of like a subsidiary because we've essentially built brand value in RSI over Cloud Imperium. And so, but the best way to think about it is RSI is the future fictional company. Cloud Imperium is actually the real world company that's building the stuff.
So it's an immersion.
We've basically set up RSI now, and we're trademarked it or whatever because it's basically become a brand for what we're doing. And I would say if we were doing any other space game, probably it would be through RSI. But right now Star Citizen's pretty much all we're doing, and since it's going to kind of be Wing Commander and Privateer and Freelancer and a bunch of other things all rolled into it, and I'm not sure we're going to be actually doing anything other than because Star Citizen is just one big, long, huge, ongoing project.
Isn't it kind of like Wingman's Costco that's going to be in the game, right? I'm just kidding. From Travis T, he says...
Travis TS here. Question about the Persistent universe this time. What kind of storyline are we looking at? Is it a Privateer-style fail one mission you've done, Wing Commander web of missions? And also, how many endings are we looking at? Is it just one win, one lose? Or is it going to be more choose-your-own-adventure style where you have dozens of endings?
So on the Persistent Universe side, in terms of storyline, in the initial sort of launch of the game, the Squadron 42 is going to be the sort of bigger, more involved one with the branching storyline. And then when you get into the Persistent Universe, there are going to be story threads, but no big overarching story a la, say, Privateer. We'll basically have, a 5-mission thread in this side of the galaxy, a 3-mission thread in this side of the galaxy, 2 over here, 6 over here, and it will be more sort of a general sandbox environment where events are happening. And then part of our plan is that we'll be sort of changing and adjusting that as the game's live, adding more stuff in. So it'll feel like it's an ongoing experience, and it won't sort of feel like it has a finite end. But we will probably, as we go along, or once we're live, we will release some bigger, more involved, story sort of driven missions, and they will not all necessarily be military the same way Squadron 42 is. So there very possibly could be a more involved Privateer style or Freelancer style story that's in the sort of, you're not in the military, you're more of a kind of space entrepreneur, so to speak, getting involved. Whether it's a so think of, like, for instance, if you read any of the fiction that we're doing on the site. Something like the Tanya Oriel story that we're doing right now is a pretty good example, or the Kid Crimson we did before would be kind of examples of more involved narrative stuff that potentially will be down the road later. But in the initial sort of Persistent Universe release, all our sort of single story, I guess, care and attention is going to the Squadron 42 side, and then there'll just be flavor missions or sort of scripted story stuff in addition to all the user-generated style missions and the dynamic universe-generated missions.
Kind of call those like side quests, or just small side quests out there?
Yeah, I mean, story-driven side quests, so they'll have small arcs, but they obviously won't be as big and involved as something like Squadron 42.
Exactly. Okay, from Light Monk, he says, if missiles are being fired, can we visually see what type and weight and class the missile is?
So definitely, I mean, that's actually already, I mean, if I'm not sure if in the prototype I was firing all the missiles, but currently, in the prototype, in the Hornet, there was 3 different kinds of missiles.
Right.
The standard, this basically goes back to the Wing Commander days, but there was the image recognition missile, a couple of heat-seeking missiles, and there was a dumbfire missile. And they were all visually different. They have different weights, they have different velocities, turn radiuses, and obviously different target acquisition characteristics. So all of that you'll be able to see visually, like when someone deploys their missiles or you see them on the racks, you'll see what kind of missiles they have. And so basically in the game, I mean, visually, we're very much about what you see is what you get.
Cool. From Lord Wah, he says, how will gravity be handled in spacecraft? Are they all assumed to have artificial gravity all the time, or can it fail due to enemy fire, etc.?
Okay, that's a great question. So generally, most of the ships have artificial gravity in them, but there will definitely be cases where perhaps the life support, or you have a hull breach, or something gets broken, and then in that case, all of a sudden it'll be 0G instead of 1G or close to 1G, which is kind of what the default setup is. So I mean, even in the prototype right now, if you walk around on the carrier, it's got artificial gravity. The moment you walk outside the mouth of the hangar bay, then all of a sudden you're in 0G. So It's kind of already in the system, and it's just going to be more a matter of whether we turn it off and on, because we sort of control where the gravity is in areas or boxes.
So we'll balance that then, right?
Yep.
So this next video is from Wing Noob.
Yeah, this is for the Wingman. I just think that your show could use a little bit more personality, some over-the-top bits, perhaps, and some more voice inflection. It would just make the show so much better. Thank you. Love you guys.
I actually, that's a pretty fair comment. I mean,
I know, right? I mean,
yeah.
That's a comment on how to make the show better. I think we have to listen to our fans.
I think we do.
Absolutely. So a little more voice inflection then, maybe.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Good,
although that individual looks like he's been eating a lot of Five Guys burgers and pizzas.
He might have had some
candy and alcohol
Jimmy
and stuff. So
yeah, and thank you very much for all that stuff.
So for the rest of the audience, from now on out, I think juiced fast.
No. Hey,
so
microphone's going dead.
Weight Watchers, it's perfect. Things
not.
Low in sugar.
No. Think low in taste. No, thanks. Hey, listen, you're gonna be doing South by Southwest this week, right?
Yes.
What's going on there?
Well, a couple of things. I'm doing a panel on Friday with the Oculus Rift guys. So I think it's going to be Palmer, who created the Rift, myself, Cliffy, ex of Gears of War and Epic, Cliffy B, and I think one other person, although I'm not quite sure. So we're discussing the future of VR, and I'll be geeking out about how we can use it for Star Citizen. And then on Sunday, I'm doing a speech or a talk about generally like how great the process has been in what's happened with Star Citizen, the new way. I think games can get made and get developed, and what's really great and positive about them. I'm really sort of was it yesterday? Yeah, I think yesterday they launched the Torment Numeria from In Exile, and they raised like $1.5 million in the first 24 hours, which is pretty impressive. But I mean, I really think like the sense of a couple of things. First of all, the sense of sort of empowerment, where people get to decide what games they want to have happen, and also the fact that they can have their voice and input heard early in the process is good for someone as a game player that really cares about games, and that's really kind of what they're into. But also from my side as someone that makes games, it's fantastic because like we were saying earlier in the show, it's just you have a lot less dead ends in terms of working on stuff that maybe not so important for people. And it's just great. You're like crowdsourcing like ideas, concept, feedback. People are poking holes in things that you're giving them. So you pretty much see early on like if something flies or not, because it's not like you're doing it with a very contained development group. And usually the development groups all tend to, like, you always love your own ideas. It's always great that you push it out there. And if you see if it registers or not, or if people can poke holes. So I just think that it helps focus on the development side, and I think that it's I think it's very exciting. And I think if you went around and interviewed the people around the office here, I think they really enjoy it. I mean, I've got team members who are like, hey, can I show my thing next week and do this? And because it's great. Everyone
It's
loves the
energizing.
show. Energized people love to get the feedback, and so I think my personal feeling is we'll see when the game comes out, but I'm pretty sure it's going to make a better game for us, for you guys, and I think it's a great way to do it, and it really uses today's technology in the way that you can sort of connect directly to people in a way that you couldn't do 10 years ago. So I think it's exciting. I think it's a completely new time for making games. I love the fact that a lot of people are being taken out of like the value chain, so to speak. You got the
Right.
publishers, or even in the case of like investors or whatever, where people have different agendas, where they're less. We care about making a great game.
Right.
A publisher cares about making profits for its shareholders on Wall Street, and sometimes those things are in conflict.
Right.
So I think the way we are doing right now is much purer, because we're connecting directly with the people that want the games and love the games and will pay for it. And we're making a great game, and we're doing it for you guys, and we get the middlemen out of the way, which means that less money goes to them, which means we actually don't need to make collect as much money to make exactly the same game, because there's not people in the middle taking it, and we're making a game that's truer for what you guys want, because we're really delivering. We listen to you guys, and we're building the game we want to play, and I think it's the game you guys want to play too. So I think it's a great way to do things. So I'm really happy to see things like the Torment stuff do really well, and I will be. Let's see. This is running. This runs at 11.
It's running tomorrow. So we've got another one. We're don't tease too much of it
I'm not
yet.
going to tease it, but then there's something else that I'm pretty excited
Coming up
about.
in a minute.
And Eric will tease. But so I think it's great. I think it's a great way to do things, and so I'm excited. So that's kind of what my speech will be about. There you go.
You just a little snippet of the speech. It'll come before the actual speech. So cool, man. Well, thank you very much for dropping by.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. I'm sure the fans liked getting the feedback answers directly from you, and hopefully we'll continue to have Chris on more and more. I mean, he's here all the time, but please keep sending hamburgers and booze and the
veggie version.
Oh no!
Yeah, the nice healthy ones.
Oh God, the no
carrots.
tasters.
Just send a bunch of celery.
No, I can see fine. All right. Well, hey, now you know what it's time for? Wide World News.
Right, take it away.
No more wash that. I'm in the cold. Oh, hey. Well, the cold's almost over now, So sorry about that. Listen, hey, guys, it's been the stuff of science fiction, but one classic feature of the future may become science fact. Space elevators have been tickling our imagination as far back as 1895, when Russian scientist Konstantin Shilzovsky was inspired by the newly built Eiffel Tower. At the time, he envisioned a ginormous tower built from the ground up to geosynchronous orbit. While that early idea may need a bit more fleshing out, a more realistic approach involves extending a line from an orbiting satellite directly to the surface. Sounds like a grand and attainable vision, but there's still a lot of work to do, as making a line strong enough and thin enough to reach that altitude is not yet available. The creation of a carbo nanotube technology that can make a kilometers-high ribbon possible is still in its infancy. For now, researchers have to be content with lifting a payload on a balloon-suspended ribbon a mere 2 kilometers long. Hey guys, just 35,788 kilometers to go. And you're right there. So let's get a little closer to home. And in gaming news, our good friend Richard Garriott, better known as Lord British, announced his new RPG game, Shroud of the Avatar. Chris was just kind of mentioning it earlier, but fans of the Ultima series welcome the return of Garriott to his roots. And we at Cloud Imperium are all big supporters, and we wish Richard and the team all the best in their Kickstarter campaign. Garriott and team are busy building a rich and detailed RPG world. Take a look at that. Beautiful. So head on over to Kickstarter and look for the Shroud of Avatar for more information. It launched about an hour ago, so let's start cranking that out there. That's a really, really good project, and we have a lot of friends over there working on it, and Richard's a friend of ourselves, and big ups to that. Look for that. So, and further away from home, weekly weather wizard Pete Mackey is on the flight deck on the top of the ship. Pete, how's the weather up there? Well, thank you, Peter. Weekly Weather Wizard, I hope you can catch your breath. And that's your wide world news. Today's Wingman's Hangar interview guest was instrumental in putting the kick in our fundraising campaign. In a bit of a reversal, Chris Roberts interviews Sandi Gardiner about her experience.
So we're here with Sandi Gardiner, who is heading up our marketing efforts and is also taking care of a lot of people on the customer service side.
Hi, I'm Sandi Gardiner. I would be, I guess, the title VP of Marketing. However, I may have helped you with your account. I also run Concierge. I'm also manufacturing the citizens cards, the T-shirts. Been working with Chris for a long time.
Long time.
I have been working with Chris for a long time, a lot on the film side, and on this project we came up with the underground teaser site, the whole golden ticket thing. I originally came to the States about 10 years ago. I'm studying a master's in business at the Anderson School of UCLA. And so I basically came across as a model and an actress, even though I have my MBA in marketing, which is kind of what I'm doing on Star Citizen.
Keep on the game side. So
keep on the game side.
I
used to play Doom.
Exactly.
I used to obsessively play Doom. I did have a 386. I also had a Commodore 64. I don't think I had a 286. But I obsessed over that instead of writing my
Did you play any of my games?
I'd heard of Wing Commander, but no, I can't say I played your games.
Maybe a short-lived VP of marketing.
I'm losing my job very quickly.
So what feature are you looking forward to most in Star Citizen?
What feature? I really would like to up the female part. And I actually have a few little companions, little mateys, because I bought myself a Cutlass package. See you back in LA.
Thank you, Miss Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Hey, look who's with us. And you're not wearing red.
I am not.
You actually have more than just the red outfit.
I do. I'm getting paid a little more.
Yeah. explain to everybody
we
why.
actually shot everything in one day. So that is why you will see me in the same spot with the same outfit.
Right.
And then we switched it around for me and Chris's interview.
Exactly. So listen, what have you got right there? What is going on?
I have my plaque.
You've got a plaque?
Yes.
What's it for?
It is for, look, read.
It says Sandi Miracle Worker Gardiner for your work on the Wingman's Hangar Marketing Director. Oh, hey, you know what? I got a plaque.
Yay!
We've got plaque. It's kind of like, what? Oh, Mike, you've got a plaque? Pete's got a plaque.
Yeah, but you forgot the best bit. I turned plastic into metal.
Oh, you did? Yeah, that's right. These are brushed metal. So a big thanks to the Galactic Association of Broadcasters.
Thank you.
These are from our fans, from you guys again. You sent them in. This is like the coolest. It's one of the coolest things we've gotten. So we wanted to definitely say thank you. So you run Concierge.
I do run.
What is Concierge? How does one get there, and what is that?
Would you like to be on my Concierge?
Oh, you know that's right. Yes, please.
Concierge. I have quite a few cool fans on Concierge from all over the world, and it's like a secret service for high rollers.
A secret service for high rollers.
Yeah. Gaming Concierge for all your Star Citizen needs in the universe.
And that's pretty cool, actually. I mean, so people have like a place that they can get to and ask questions and be part of, and get their help from somebody high up in the organization.
Exactly.
Beautiful. That's a good answer. All right, so T-shirts and cards are being produced in the thousands. What else we got coming up?
What else have we got coming up?
Yeah, what's in
Well,
store?
we've had bomber jackets on the list.
Oh man, that is
metal mouse pads on the list. Coffee mugs on the list.
Wow.
A few people were asking about your pirate hat.
That pirate hat is pretty cool. And Pleasure sent that.
We might be having a bit of a poll. Let me get the T-shirts and cards.
Yeah, I know. That's true. Let's
get
get that. We've got 100,000 people now, so it is a bit of a task to get all that stuff going. But I mean, so people should be looking forward to a lot of cool stuff. You want to swag out, you're going to be able to. We're going to let you swag out.
Correct.
Right. It's not just going to be digital goods. You can have physical goods. Right. So let's get physical goods.
But they're going to be good, you see. So it takes a little while.
It does. It does. We want to do it right.
Correct.
We just don't want to put out just old crap. So. Listen, let's go from Lostanos. He has a question for you. We got some questions from the audience. So Lostanos asks,
Ain't no woman like the one I got. Oh, hey there, Wingman. Didn't see ya. Yeah, I have a question. As a subscriber, I'd like to know if the money I'm putting towards subscription can be used to upgrade my current pledge level ship, or purchase additional ones.
Hi there. So thank you, Lost Owner, for your question. You can actually use your subscriber money for upgrades. However, the LA offices are coming soon, and this is why the town hall and the 20 question show has been a little bit on hold.
Would there be a green screen in that office?
Yes.
Perhaps? Oh no!
It's actually gonna be, you know,
Another show?
Yes.
No.
Yes,
No.
exactly.
Well.
I can do what you can do. Forum feedback.
And you can look way better doing it too.
Well, I didn't want to say so myself.
I know. Listen, it's pretty obvious, I think, to anybody watching that that's the case. Listen,
but we're going to do some really cool stuff for on the subscriber side.
Seriously, right. So citizen cards is the big topic, right? I know we've got some stuff. We got them looking behind us here in the background. You can see them. So give it a little update on the citizen card. That was a lot of work.
It is
still a lot of work. Yeah.
It is basically every card is a custom card.
Right.
So even the plastic ones, not just the metal ones.
Right.
But every metal card goes through a 4-step process to get where it is going to be.
Right.
Do we have the? Oh, we've got the images up. So we're
right. The images right behind us.
Got you. So.
Spread out so we can see.
Oh, spread.
Yeah, there we go.
Move. So like it's actually going to be like engraved out, like on the edges where you see the circuit board on the edges. That's like all like engraved out.
Beautiful.
The name, it's like baked right at the end.
Again, we're not doing like half-baked stuff. We're doing really cool stuff.
It's fully baked. It's actually
it's baked in.
It is.
It's inside the pie.
This thing is like solid. It's going to last forever.
Right. And you know that and that takes some time. Right, and then also we've got to ship them out. We've got to get everybody's information, put it on there, ship them out. It just takes a little bit of time.
Each card's custom, and then you're going to be able to use your cards for some fun events.
Oh, don't give that away yet. That's a secret. That's something secret. We can't talk about that secret. So we have one last question from you, put together from. It's called the Commander. Take a look at this. Pew pew.
I'm the parrot. Mercenaries.
Pew pew.
Or your base. Will be on. So,
pew pew.
All right.
Okay.
So thinking about it, an interesting question for and what is that the most fun game you prefer it, and on our office, what sort of stuff will you be working on as we go forward?
Thank you for that, Mr. Roberts.
Do you think he was drinking? Because he just wasn't putting his sentences together correctly.
I think after that, the most fun game that I prefer, I'm going to have to say a Chris Roberts game.
Yes! Good answer.
I got called out on that in my interview.
Did you really?
Yes.
I've
never played Wing Commander, so I better be... Yeah, Freelancer actually just had a 10-year anniversary.
Oh, that's right. And you know what? The fans mentioned that to us, and so we're gonna be putting something up about that.
So I should be playing. I already got emails. Get on GOG and get Freelancer and get Privateer before you get fired.
Right. That's oh, what? I don't think that's gonna happen.
No, it's a little extreme.
No. I mean, we cannot do without Sandi, folks. So sorry.
But going forward, I mean, it's really cool for me. Like. All the different things that are happening, all the concept art.
Yeah, and you've got a lot coming up on the plate. I mean, we kind of teased a little bit about it, but you've got tons of stuff coming for the fans and for the community, and it's a little different way of doing development. I mean, we are reaching out and virtually handshaking with folks directly, and they're engaging with us, and that's a lot of work.
I do, and I have my friends. They all email me. Friends? They tell you I do. I have
friends.
They all tell me what's happening, and that's why you get a lot of food, by the way.
Thank you, Sandi. We appreciate that, and the booze too, right?
Just wait, our LA offices are coming soon.
Yeah, you don't want to send stuff to the LA office though. They want to remain nice and thin. We here, however, prefer a more robust and fluffy look.
I do eat.
Yeah. I know you. I know. I've seen you eat. Yeah. You're just in way better shape than us, obviously. All right. Well, listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We want to thank Sandi for joining us today and for being by far the best looking thing that's ever been on the show.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. And then we have weekly weather wizard Peter Mackey for finding the weather anywhere if he's found any. Pete, he was a little bit on the hangar deck. We're not sure what's going on with Pete, where he's at or how he's handling it. We want to thank Chris Roberts for sitting in today, and Whoop-de-Woo's Plaques gift. That was really, really cool that he sent that through.
Whoop-de-woo?
Whoop-de-woo.
Okay.
Yeah, it was whoop-de-woo.
All right.
I mean, if you're going to name something, that's actually a really, really cool name.
Why not?
And by the way, thank everyone out there for your continued support. Thanks to the subscribers for putting the money out there that allows us to do shows like this.
I got stuff coming for you.
And possibly future shows as well.
I got a lot coming for you guys.
Right on, you sure do. And coming up this week, as I said, Wingman's Hangar, we're doing a little pre-recorded bit now. So we're going to be shooting at South by Southwest. We'll do a little man on the scene, maybe talk to people and see what they know out in the verse about.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you will be there.
I will be there.
Yeah, me too. And we have next week's guest. Next week's guest is you, the fans. Come out to South by Southwest. Sit in on the Hangar show. We're going to be interviewing you. If you feel like it, come out. The more booze you bring, the better the show gets. Just saying.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. We'll be out there tomorrow afternoon, actually. We'll be about an hour after the show. We'll be there. You guys should pop out. Look for us with a desk, some rolling cameras, some bits, craziness, all that kind of stuff.
I won't be wearing red. I'll probably be wearing
You're
this,
not wearing
maybe.
red? You're wearing
No,
and don't forget the after show, Wingman's Hangover, 15 minutes later. And remember, if you want your stuff featured on Wingman's Hangar, send it in. It just might get in. See you in the verse.
See you later.
When Reginald was home with flu, the doctor knew just what to do. He cured the infection with one small injection, while Reginald uttered some interjections.
Hey, that's smart! Ouch, that hurts! Yeah, that's not fair!
Though Geraldine played hard to get, Geraldo knew he'd woo her. Yes, he showed his affection despite her objections, and Geraldine hollered some interjections.
Well, you've got some nerve! Oh, I've never been so insulted in all my life. Hey, you're kind of cute.
Interjections,
Well,
for excitement or emotion.
Hey.
They're generally set apart from a sentence by an exclamation point, or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong. So when you're happy,
Hooray!
or sad,
Aw!
or frightened,
Eek!
or mad,
Rat!
or excited,
Wow!
or glad,
Hey!
an interjection starts a sentence right.
Help! I think I'm melting.
The game was tied at 7-all, when Franklin found he had the ball. He made a connection in the other direction, and the crowd started shouting out interjections.
Ah, you threw the wrong way.
Darn, you just lost the game.
Hooray, I'm for the other team.
So when you're happy,
Hooray!
or sad, or frightened, or mad, or excited, or glad,
It's me.
an interjection starts a sentence right. Interjections,
Hey!
show excitement
Hey!
or emotion.
Hey!
They're generally set apart from a sentence by an exclamation point, or by a comma when the feeling's not as strong. Interjections, show excitement or emotion. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Darn, that's the end.